Let's start our coverage of day 3 of Russia-Ukraine conflict. What happened last night? Firstly, we'll try to have a look at that. Last night was the deadliest night for the people of Ukrainian capital Kyiv. Before the start of the night, Zelensky, Ukrainian president, delivered a speech. He said the night's going to be tough. It's going to be hard for Ukrainians, and Russians will come with all their force to take Kiev. That is what exactly happened. First, take a listen to what Zelensky said. It's not in English, but he's saying that there'll be mourning to this night as well. We'll have to stay strong. Russians will come with the most horrendous of attacks on Kiev this night. That is what he was saying before the start of night.
Звертаюсь до наших захисників і захисниць на усіх фронтах цієї ночі. Ворог застосує усі наявні у них сили, щоб зламати наш опір. Підло, жорстко і не по-людськи. Цієї ночі вони підуть на штурм. Всі ми маємо розуміти, що нас чекає. Цієї ночі маємо вистояти. Доля України вирішується саме зараз. Кожен цивільний громадянин має бути максимально обережним. Допомагайте, будь ласка, один одному, особливо людям літнього віка, самотнім, тим, кому зараз дуже важко. За будь-якої небезпеки переходьте в укриття. Кожен, хто вже долучився до захисту країни або може допомогти обороні, зупиняйте ворогу всюди, де можете. Закривайте спеціальні знаки, які диверсанти залишають на дорогах, які диверсанти залишають на будівлях. Спалюйте ворожу техніку. Усім, чим ви можете. Якщо для загарбників навіть дитячі садочки допустима ціль, ви не повинні залишити їм жодного шансу. Всі думки, всі молитви українців з нашими військовими. Віримо у них. Дбаємо про них. Захищаємо нашу державу. Ніч буде важкою. Дуже важкою. Але буде ранок. Слава Україні!
Then viewers, a few hours after that, Russians started a massive ground operation into Ukrainian capital Kyiv. From western and northern directions, Russian huge military convoys consisting of MLRS, APCs, tanks, entered Kiev. Russian military has definitely entered Kiev, and fighting is being reported in Kiev, just a few kilometers away from main buildings. Ukrainian forces say they have repelled a major attack on a military unit in Kiev. Near city's main buildings, fighting went on entire night last night. Near metro station in Berestieska, fighting went on. Then in near city zoo in Sholyavka, fighting was reported. In several other areas as well. All night Kiev was hit by artillery strikes, by rockets, and Ukrainian forces tried to hold on to their positions in Kiev. Reportedly, Russian forces managed to reach close to Ukraine's Supreme Council building, and fighting was reported just 10 kilometers away from this building. So we can now confirm, viewers, that urban combat is going on. Street fighting is underway. It's not that Russians are shelling the city from a distance. No, Russians have entered the city. From Gostomel as well, a large convoy of Russian tanks and APCs, it moved towards Kiev. Then Vassal Kyiv, which is right outside Kyiv city, just 40 kilometers away from Kiev city. Russian paratroopers landed on Vassal Kyiv, and there was fighting inside Vassal Kyiv. We can sum up yours that Russians have launched a ground operation into Kiev. A massive ground operation was launched last night. Fighting was reported for the control of Kiev's power plant as well. An earlier attempt to capture the power plant failed last, I think, 24 hours ago. Then last night, another attempt was made to capture power plant of Kiev. Situation is very volatile so far. Ukrainian news sources, Ukrainian military says that they have repelled main Russian attack on Kiev. They have managed to survive. And we have not seen so far any videos, pictures showing Russians in control of some key places inside Kiev. We'll try to update you. What we can confirm now that Kiev was the center of fighting last night. Meanwhile, Russians are protesting. Protests went on last night as well. We have a video clip for you from St. Petersburg, where Russians protested against the war. Hundreds have been arrested by Russian government, but several Russian celebrities are appearing on social media platforms opposing this war. Ordinary Russians, they know that they can be arrested and they are being arrested. Still, they are speaking out. They are speaking against this war. So that is why it should not be said that entire Russia is behind Putin. No, Russians are out on the streets. They are protesting. Large rallies are being seen. Watch this clip from St. Petersburg, where protest was held last night. Then some more news stories. Thirdly, was reportedly Kazakhstan has refused to deploy its troops to support Russian forces in Ukraine. Yesterday, Putin talked to the leaders of Kazakhstan, but what we have learned so far is that Kazakhstan is not ready to deploy its troops to Ukraine to support Russian forces. Kazakhstan is seen as an ally of Russian President Putin. Putin called several world leaders yesterday. He talked to Modi of India. He talked to Iranian leaders. Then Bashar al-Assad of Syria. Chinese president was on call with Putin as well, and Kazakhstan is a leader too. But Kazakhstan has refused to deploy its troops to Ukraine. Chechnya is deploying its troops. Reportedly, their preparations are underway. Troops are being sent. I showed a video clip of some Chechen fighters, Chechen government fighters, supporting Russian forces in Ukraine. More Chechen soldiers are being sent by the Chechen government to support Russian forces. But so far, Kazakhstan is neutral. It's not deploying its troops to Ukraine. And lastly, viewers, experts say that Russia has deployed only half of its deployments into Ukraine from Russia-Ukraine border areas. There were around 150,000 Russian soldiers deployed along Ukraine-Russia border. Less than half has been deployed so far. Less than half of the entire strength has been deployed. So it means that in coming days we could see intensified wars. We could see serious escalation. Already we are seeing that fighting is going on several fronts in Ukraine. But in coming days, the fighting could intensify, because if Russians meet resistance, if they cannot take Kiev, Odessa, then obviously their troops who have not been deployed, they'll come into play as well. So in coming days, we could see intensified war if Russians fail to take control of Odessa and Kiev. they're mainly focusing on Kiev. And President Zelensky and his forces, they're trying to protect Kiev. Reportedly, Americans offered Zelensky, president of Ukraine, to evacuate him from Kiev, but he refused the offer. US news sources have shared this, that Zelensky has refused to be evacuated. He wants to be in Kiev. He's leading his country. Kiev's mayor has also been seen armed with a rifle leading his country. So let's see, can Ukrainian forces hold their positions in Kiev? Because if they manage to hold on to their positions for some times, it could lead to pressure upon Russians. Russians want to wrap up this war in a very short period of time. That is why they are launching airborne operations. Their paratroopers are landing on some places, in some towns, because they want to capture the places without large-scale bloodshed. But if Ukrainians manage to hold on to their positions for just a few days, it would definitely lead to frustration. So what matters for Ukraine is to somehow to prolong this war. Can Ukraine do it or not? When Russians want a speedy end to this conflict. Thank you for watching.